Assassin's Creed Ragnarok's impending announcement and release have left people with a lot of questions, one of these being just how much will it have progressed from Odyssey, and will it have an entirely new engine? Today I'm going to give a few of my thoughts on just how different and how new Assassin's Creed Ragnarok is going to be. So the first thing to take into account here is the gap in time between Odyssey and Ragnarok. This is the third time we've had a 2-year gap between the games. We've seen this previously with both the gap between Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2 and the gap between Syndicate and Origins, and both of those games change a lot of what the previous games had established, especially Origins. In that game we got an entirely new engine, new modern day, an entirely new sort of feeling to the game. Everything was new, whereas 2 was similar but not as extreme. The gameplay was definitely improved and pretty much everything was expanded upon. Before considering whether this is going to be a change similar to Assassin's Creed 2 or Origins, I think it's worth looking at other times the series has progressed into a new era. This can be by leaving old storylines, changing the gameplay, and just generally making the series feel different to how it did before. I'd say the games that did this were Assassin's Creed 2, 3, Unity, and Origins. So considering we usually stay with one format for 2 or 3 games, it's definitely a possibility we'll get a new one here. However, I think we should note how long each took to develop. Assassin's Creed 2 took 2 years to develop, 3 took 3 years, Unity took 4, and so did Origins. And by the time Ragnarok comes out, it will have spent 3 years in development. And considering Unity and Origins both took 4 years to revamp the series, I don't think we'll get like a complete overhaul. I think that's unrealistic given how long the game will have been in development, and surely if the last 2 games of this type took 4 years to make, this would need around the same amount of time, if not more. I'm expecting this to be something more like the step up from Assassin's Creed 2 to Brotherhood, where there's definitely been improvements, but it's not made from scratch by any means. Now, another thing a lot of people are talking about is next-gen systems. I've seen people speak about this as being the next-gen Assassin's Creed for some reason, and I just don't think that's what we're going to get. In 2013, when current-gen systems launched, Black Flag released on both current and last-gen, and I think we'll just have that again, because most casual gamers, as disgusting as they are, aren't going to have next-gen systems at launch, so it'd really hurt their sales if it was purely a next-gen title. Which brings us onto the rumour about there being 2 AC games in 1 year, which I've spoken about in full before, but it's something that just won't happen. In short, it was catastrophic when they did it in 2014, and the combined sales of Rogue and Unity were 2 million short of Black Flag on its own, and I don't know which team exactly would be developing the smaller current-gen game, and Ubisoft just wouldn't take that risk again. There is a theory from Reddit I really like though, along the same sort of route, and hear me out here, it's that every Assassin's Creed game since Unity has been filler, and all the leaks about Assassin's Creed Great Fall, Ada, Victory, Rising Phoenix, they were all real guys, and we'll actually get 5 games in 1 year, which will be totally epic, and the best year for gaming of all time. Alright, seriously though, there's no way we'll get 2 games in 1 year, probably ever again, and it is a bad idea. I don't even really like the idea of annual releases that much either, so it'd be nice if Ubisoft kept releasing bi-yearly. So on the whole, I think the game isn't going to play all that differently from the other 2 RPG titles, but at the very least I think there'll be some tweaks for sure, particularly in the combat, but I think things like movement, horse riding and the layout will remain the same. In that 4chan leak from January, the poster said the game would lean far more into the RPG type stuff with a class system, but that's not entirely credible, and it definitely feels like the type of change that we would see, you know, so perhaps we will see more of those RPG mechanics. I think in terms of story and themes, that's going to be well off Origins and Odyssey. Even if the game was to use the exact same engine, HUD, even if it used everything from Odyssey, I still think it would feel quite different to those 2 games, both of those being set in the BC in a very different setting. This is set over 1,000 years ahead of that game, and we can expect to see a very different culture to what we saw in Odyssey and Origins. I think in all it's going to be a very different game to Odyssey, with some slight tweaks in the engine at the very least. I'd say getting things like an updated, more refined naval seems likely, as well as heavier combat and more RPG-like systems, as I mentioned before. So in all, I wouldn't so much expect Ragnarok to be a new era or revolutionise the series, but more like an upgrade, kind of like the jump from 2 to Brotherhood. And I'd expect the game to function like sort of an Origins 1.5 in its engine and how it plays. With that being said though, I definitely feel this will be the final game on this style of engine and with this sort of gameplay, as the next game would definitely launch on the PS5 and Xbox Series X, which could mean a number of things, perhaps even moving away from the RPG formula. For now though, I just expect those slight upgrades with a Viking sort of spin on things in the gameplay and story. So anyway guys, that has been it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, maybe leave a like, and if not, maybe let me know why. And if you aren't subscribed, consider doing that for all the latest Assassin's Creed Ragnarok news, speculation, leaks, and just general Assassin's Creed content. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.